This is a method that I've developed over the past 40 years and which partakes of several contemporary dreamwork methodologies, but is unique by focusing on two things: the dreamer's responses and alternatives to the responses, as well as focusing on changes in the imagery and how those changes are reflected by the dreamer's own changes, and how the relationship between dreamer and imagery evolves through the dream in a reciprocal relational dynamic.
Hi, Scott.
You say you had a dream you'd like to share?
Yes.
Okay, well, can you first tell it in the present tense as if it's happening right now in the first person?
Sure.
That way, when I listen to it, I can really get into it and kind of feel it as my own.
Okay. So, I dream that I'm traveling with a couple of my closest friends, girlfriends. And we're on this highway, I'm not sure where, we're in the car, and I feel this real sense of urgency. I don't know why. I'm on a mission. I'm like really driven, but I'm not sure what it's about. My friends are not feeling that. They're just talking and laughing and very laid back at ease. And as we're going along the highway, we see like an outdoor carnival. And even though I really didn't want to do this, all of a sudden in the dream, the car is like pulling off the road into this big field, like a parking lot for a carnival. And I'm driving the car, and we're going towards the woods, and I guess we get out of the car, and there's a play that's about to start. And my friends, they want to stay, enjoy the play, the carnival, and I am not in the least bit interested. I'm really, really kind of expressing to them that I'm not happy, that we need to get going, really need to go somewhere. But I never say what it is. We don't discuss this in the dream. So then, the next scene is I'm like on the other side of the highway from the carnival, and I'm out of the car and I'm standing alongside the road. And I'm looking down the highway and I see quite a few tractor trailers in a line barreling towards me, like driving really fast. And I'm watching them, and I'm, a little uneasy, and I'm kind of cautious, but I don't move. I just stand there. And they get closer and closer, and like right before they get to me, they don't even slow down. They veer off the road to the right. Zoom, 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 like that.
So what are you feeling right now in this moment as the trucks are approaching you?
I'm feeling a little bit wary, maybe a little concerned, but I'm not scared, and I'm not concerned enough to move. I'm watching them. I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
So you're more curious than you are afraid.
Right, more curious than afraid.
Okay.
So right before they get to me, they just zoom off to the right, like an off-ramp. They don't slow down. And I also noticed that even though most of my dream seemed to be in the daytime, when I'm looking at the trucks, it almost seemed to be in nighttime. They had their lights on. It was a little dark. After that, I'm back with my friends, expressing again, being very stern, and kind of demanding, I'm going, and anyone that wants to go with me, get in the car now, because I'm leaving now. I have to go. They don't get upset with me. And then all of a sudden it switches to we're all at somebody's house. I don't know who the people are really, but we're all visiting. Obviously, I must know them in the dream or whatever, but we're all kind of visiting. Everyone else is still kind of laid back and enjoying. I'm still anxious. I'm very anxious, and I feel like I need to be somewhere. I need to get somewhere, and it's very important.
This feeling never stops, does it?
No, it's...
Up to this point?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I feel this the whole time from the beginning of it. So again, I say, I gotta go. Let's go. I'm out of here. And then it totally switches to I'm by myself, and I'm meeting the man I love, and I'm like boarding a cruise ship, and I meet him there, kind of meet him there on the dock, and we're very happy and excited to be together, and we get onto this huge ship, like a cruise ship, together, and then it ends, and I wake up.
Okay, thanks. So, throughout this dream, you're on a mission with a feeling of urgency.
Yes.
And you never really stop in your effort to get to where you need to go, even though you're not clear where that is.
Right.
You're just aware that you have to keep moving. So there is a consistent thread throughout. Your feeling of urgency is unyielding.
Right.
And your arrival is complete at the end. It seems complete, that you are on the verge at least of leaving on this new journey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and the dreamer never gives in to the situations that arise. It could be seen as alternatives or way stations or distractions, even in a more negative sense.
Right.
You just don't give into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the only time in the dream that I don't feel the urgency is at the end.
Okay. Well, let's just take a look at the responses you make. We've already kind of covered that so far, but let's look at your significant things you do and don't do. Okay. So what is it the most kind of consistent response that you're making in this dream? What would you say it would be?
Well, that I'm trying to stay in control and stick with my agenda, stick with whatever it is I'm going to, my destination. You know, I'm consistent with not, like you had said, being waylaid, sidetracked, or even with the tractor trailers. I don't move. I'm not afraid, and I'm not running away. It's rather as if I'm running to something.
Yeah, so your response is consistent. It seems like there's some significant moments in the dream where you could have responded differently, but you didn't. Like when your friends wanted to go to the play. That's a pretty, compelling social pressure there, and yet you still stood up. So you didn't let that distract you. When the tractor trailers were barreling down on you, you could have said, "Oh my gosh," you could have been afraid, but you weren't afraid. So
Right.
what wasn't there seems as significant as what was there, and that is you didn't give in to distractions or fear or whatever would have been a natural response to the context you were in. When you went to people's house, you weren't a polite guest, and in a sense,
I wasn't,
you could have hung out and,
exactly, because in real life I probably would have done everything, a little different. I might have been a little more polite and patient and tried to involve myself more, been a little more afraid of the tractor trailers. So, yeah.
So you're being a little different than your usual character. You're being a little less accommodating of others. You're being a little less cautious.
Yeah.
Because you're hell-bent on this mission.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so let's look at imagery.
Yeah.
The dream imagery. It's
Right.
pretty interesting.
Right.
Images. What is the first image that comes to mind in the dream?
Just being on a highway. And being, it's kind of a very open kind of country, a lot of trees and along the highway. It's not near a city or a very populated area.
It's open,
So it's
undeveloped.
Yes, undeveloped.
But there is a highway. You're not just kind of groping through the woods. There's
No.
a clear
Right.
highway that you're on at first.
At first, yes.
In a car, you were in a car.
We're in a car, and it's like I don't know exactly what kind of car, but it's not like it's not my car.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing fancy or special. It's kind of just a everyday, nothing special car.
Mm-hmm. And then you also have your friends with you.
Yes.
And you said two or
Two.
Two?
Two of my, those are the ones I can really remember, you know, that stand out.
Close friends?
Yes, my two best friends, two best girlfriends.
Okay. So let's just do a little bit of association to the imagery
Okay.
from the outset. You know, what do you make of highway? What's a highway good for?
Well, to get to, you know, one place to another in a speedy way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not your slow boat. It's just more direct.
Mm-hmm.
And the car, how would you associate with car?
Well, it's something that you drive, and so I was driven. You know, I felt like I was a driving force, or I was being driven by whatever I was trying to do or get to.
Mm-hmm. So in a sense, the imagery, it seems like the highway and the car both reflect your indomitable spirit, your tenacity. The highway is a direct way to get there. A car is a powerful way to get there. You're not on foot.
Mm-hmm.
You're not depending on other people either. You're driving it.
Right.
So the imagery and your response to the dream, your intention seems very consistent, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and the people who are with you, well, they're going along for the ride, but they're not in control, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So then how does the imagery progress or change? You get off the highway, though, don't you, briefly?
Yeah, get off the highway briefly for the carnival. And it's almost as if I'm, like the car just goes. Like I'm driving it, but it goes, you know, kind of by itself. Somehow it goes off into this carnival. And I'm like, this is not what I want to do. But nonetheless, I find myself driving the car as it goes into this field where the carnival is.
What's your association to carnival?
Oh, well, I love them. I mean, they're, you know, they're fun and they're colorful and
So pretty positive feeling.
yeah, exactly.
It's a place to go have fun.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
people.
It's certainly in contrast to highway, isn't it? Because a highway is a way to get somewhere. It's a means to some destination, whereas the carnival is a place where you just lay everything aside, don't you? It's a place where you just enjoy yourself for a period of time.
Right. Yeah.
So this seems like a really major contrast to the highway, doesn't it?
It is, yeah.
And yet you're pulled there. It's not like something you want consciously, but nonetheless you kind of lose a certain degree of control.
Exactly.
You end up there and you have choices to make once you get there.
Mm-hmm. Right. And like I said, there was a play that was about to start, and you know, I
back off.
I pull away, and I'm like, let's go. Gotta get in the car. We gotta go now. Time is of the essence.
Right. And then you encounter another vehicle, another image of conveyance. The car was the original one, right? And now you have these tractor trailers on the highway.
Right.
And they're really hell-bent for leather. I mean,
yes, right. And I'm not driving.
No, that's right.
I have no control over them.
So you're kind of witnessing this energy. What do you make of a tractor trailer? How would you associate with that?
Well, I mean, they're, you know, formidable. They're a big machine. But I guess I always kind of, in the dream and even in real life, I viewed them as transport to get things from one place to another.
Another necessary and useful.
Yes, and in a timely fashion.
So cars and tractor trailers are certainly in the same class.
Right.
And how do they differ? How does it, as the car changes into a tractor trailer in the dream, if you will, how does that image differ from the tractor trailer? How would you contrast the two?
Well, in the dream, you know, I definitely felt when I was in the car, it was mine. I owned it. I was in control. it was kind of more user-friendly or friendly, where the tractor trailers, I didn't control them. They were kind of dark, a little more scary, not as friendly maybe.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
yours, very powerful,
Very
possibly
Very powerful.
overwhelming, if not possibly
Right.
destructive
Exactly.
too,
Yeah.
if you're in the way of them.
Right. The possibility. Right. Exactly.
So you go from like a personal vehicle where you're in charge to this kind of impersonal external force that could be a threat to you, but nonetheless doesn't become a threat to you.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, and then as you move along, are you back in your car again? Ever?
Well, it's not clear. It's really not clear because I go back, the tractor trailers go by me. I go back across the highway to the carnival and I'm, saying, we gotta go. But then, just like that, we're at this house visiting with people.
The next really, the house becomes somewhat like a carnival image of where you don't go anywhere, you're already there. You're there to do something other than prosecute a mission.
Right, exactly.
So, and you back off of that too. So, carnival and house both, in a way, are similar because they're places you go that are ends in themselves. You're not there to accomplish some secondary goal, but you're there to enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
What's there.
Right.
And you back off of that one too.
Yes, I do. Yep, I'm saying the same thing. Come on. I gotta go. If you're going, we're going now. If you're gonna go with me, kind of thing. And I'm being kind of bossy and obstinate, and but nobody's getting upset with me. It's almost like they're ignoring me.
They're just neutral, aren't they?
They're just neutral. Yeah.
If you contrast carnival with house, how does house represent a different kind of image of a place to go? How are the two different? We've already talked about them being the same in a way because they serve in both cases to distract you from this mission.
Exactly, right. Even though I felt like they were both, even though I didn't want to be at either one of them, I knew that they were both good things, but positives. But the difference was that the house was much more personal. A friend's house, it was just more personal. Whereas the carnival is just a lot of people, the public, people that you don't know really.
So it occurs to me, in terms of my feelings about this, that it would be easier to say no to a carnival because it's not about friends or people whose feelings might be hurt.
Sure.
That would be to excuse myself from a friend's home.
Exactly.
Who might be hurt by my absenting myself. So saying no to the second one looks like a harder no, more difficult no.
Right, absolutely.
In the first one.
Yeah.
Saying no to play here, saying no to relationship.
Right.
So am I reading in too much here?
No, that's right. That's absolutely right. I did. I said no just as firmly
as before.
As I did before. Yeah. From the carnival to the house.
The last image of really, in addition to the lover or the partner, but the ship, the ocean liner.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big image. And I wonder, it seems to be in the same class. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a way of getting somewhere, like the car is and the tractor trailer. And now we have this ocean-going vessel.
Yeah, true. That's right.
Yeah.
All vehicles.
So if their imagery is related and it's changing, if you will, through the dream, how does the last image compare to the first two? Do you see any differences or similarities there?
Well, the similarities, obviously, a means of transportation vehicle. Excuse me. But for what I felt in the dream, once I got to the ship, and I'm looking at the ship, and I'm meeting my lover, I was relaxed. I didn't feel the urgency. I knew I was not going to be in control or driving this. I didn't feel that need to get to a destination because I think that was my destination.
Yeah. So you seem to be kind of letting go.
I let go, yeah.
Taken up by something.
Yes, be taken up and
pushing and getting somewhere.
Exactly, and I was happy to do that. You know, I was finally happy to just let go, board the ship with my sweetheart, and see where it took us.
Cool. You know, it seems to me there's a clear path of relationship between your attitude and response to the dream and how the imagery changes. Because in the first part of the dream, the car reflects your personal agenda, your personal autonomy. No one else is involved. It's up to you. And the car is small and it's about, you know, your own devices. And then it becomes more impersonal. And like the tractor trailer, is more powerful. And your ability to control that is diminished somewhat because now it's outside.
Right.
And it seems to be the ocean liner is even a bigger image of you not being in personal charge of that.
Right.
But in neither case do you see it as a bad thing because the tractor trailer is your association to that. It's powerful and it is possibly threatening, but it does what it
needs to do.
Intends to do.
Right.
What it needs to do is a means of conveying important things.
Right.
And so there seems to be a letting go through the dream of your personal control, moving toward this kind of larger source of energy, authority, if you will.
Right.
The driver of the tractor trailer is not you. You know, that's not your authority.
No.
And then the captain of the ship is certainly not going to be your personal responsibility.
Right.
So you become more dependent as you move from this singular mission to this collective joining, if you will.
Right.
Toward the end. Do you see that? Is that too big of a kind of imposition from me, do you think?
No, I think that's right on. I do. I really think that nails it.
So, Julie, how does this map onto your life?
Well, I think it really reflects what I'm going through presently. You know, in my past, I've kind of been the driver, in control, in charge, even the captain of the ship, which I even have said many times. So now I think it reflects what's happening in my real life now. I'm on a new journey, and I'm learning to let go, and to trust in someone else. That they can, that I'm okay to be the passenger, that I don't have to be always in control, because at the end of my dream, I'm happy, I'm calm, I'm not anxious, I'm where I want to be, I'm with the man I love, and which is the way it is in my real life right now. We're a fairly new couple and embarking on this new journey together, relationship, and so I think it really does reflect what I'm going through, and who I was before.
You know, the beauty of this dream is you end up where you want to be, but the way you got there was having to be very uncompromising and very focused and singular in your aim. Which is not to say there couldn't have been other ways to get here from there, but it certainly worked for you to have been that way prior to this point in your life.
Yes, that's right.
So it's a beautiful combination of individual autonomy and tenacity, uncompromising quality, to kind of yielding to the unknown.
Right.
Even with the tractor trailer at that moment even, you were respectful enough not to get in its way, nor to infer that it threatened you, but simply to kind of accommodate it.
Yeah, stand my ground, right, exactly.
Yeah, so there's that beautiful shift from individual to relationship.
Yeah, I think it represents striking a balance or finding that that balance of having a certain amount of direction or control, but also being open and letting go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
this.
Thank you.
This concludes the video demonstration of the FiveStar Method, with a particular emphasis on imagery change analysis. For more papers and presentations related to the FiveStar Method, please visit my website, the Dreamstar Institute website at www.dreamanalysistraining.com. Thank you.